So after the tea break, we will get you guys do something. We've learned so much from our experts today. It's time for you to contribute. You've seen we have set up the room in groups, and you also see, some gadgets on the table. Not too sure whether Simon is going to give away the iPads to the best performers. I think I'll let Simon explain to you what is going to happen with this Sandbox workshop. Let's welcome Simon Robershaw from the University of Lancashire.
Hello. The first thing I'd like to do, presumably you've all sat down with somebody you know. So what I would like you to do, well, if you haven't, that's okay. But what I'd like you to do is all stand up and move to a table where you don't know someone on that table. If you're there, it's fine. If you're also sitting and you only have 2 people on your table, can you move to another table to make up around 5 or 6 on each table? Yeah? So if you've got about 3 or 2 on your table, can you move to make up some numbers on the other tables? Yeah? That's looking better. Do you want to move to another table, please? Okay, that's good. So we've got 5, maybe 2, 3. Actually, do you want to merge with that table behind you? That'll be fine. Yeah? Do you want to stand up and then move to that table, please? If you've just arrived, can you move to a table and sit down, please? Thank you. Please, first instruction is please don't touch the iPads yet, okay? Okay, you're only 2, they've only got 4 on their table here. A person could go here, and another person could come over here to make up 6. That would be fine. Okay, so you're all already doing the right thing, which is introducing one another. That's fine. There are some, we're going to spend an hour going through this process that we're going to take you through. You've been spoken to for the last 4 or 5 hours, whatever that is. Now, beg your pardon, I've knocked him on the head. Now it's time for you to make your contribution to the debate. Yeah, so this is very much about you having a conversation about the issues that have been raised today. But first of all, I'm going to do a bit of a shameless plug and talk a little bit about Sandbox for 2 minutes and what we do. Basically, we're a facilitation company that does facilitated workshops, as I mentioned this morning, for a variety of organizations, but we also develop technology for that facilitated workshop setting, which you're going to be using this piece of kit called RED, that we now license to McKinsey globally. So the same piece of kit that you're using, McKinsey use globally as well. It's an interactive piece. It's only there to harvest your conversation. Don't worry, I'm not asking you to interact with the screen or do anything funky, just harvest what you're beginning to say in your conversations. But we facilitate for a variety of organizations, everyone from the BBC, media organizations, and we use a variety of techniques. We even use Lego. If you put Lego Serious Play into Google, you'll see that it's used as a business facilitation tool worldwide, a creative tool set. Well, I didn't talk about this morning, but I was going to, but we've done a lot of work with McKinsey around what's called social network analysis. So if you imagine you all had an iPad in this room individually, you would then see all of yourselves on screen. You could then highlight how well you know the person. Do I know this person well, slightly, or not at all? And what that would do would give us a social network or understanding of what's going on in the room in terms of connectivity. If you imagine doing that across a whole organization, you're not looking at the hierarchy, but you're looking at the knowledge base that exists across the institution or organization. Very powerful tool. And we do some other tool sets. I won't mention that because time is short, but we also work on, I was talking to a person before about developing IP, intellectual property. This is where we work with high-level industry. So the guy on the right is from Sky Television, guy in the middle, Haymarket Publishing, and the guy on the left, Johnson's Press, about developing new services and applications through a sandbox process. But ultimately, it's about conversation, yeah? And that's what it's always about, is having a facilitated conversation. So the process that you're going to go through now, you'll notice that you have some pens and paper. in front of you. I'm going to ask you a question, and then I want you to spend 15 minutes having a conversation about that question. Yeah? I want you to write it down. I want you to draw. I want you to be creative on that top piece of paper only, firstly. So all your thoughts, all your conversations are going to be put down on this piece of paper. Yeah, that's very important that it's documented, because this will be digitized, passed back to the client so they can distribute it back to you as they choose to do so. But it's very important you use the paper. It's very important also that we were blessed with one mouth and two ears. Okay? So it's very much about listening, allowing other people to speak, allowing other people time to speak as well. So please consider that process and other people around the table. After that 15 minutes is done, I'll then talk you through the second phase of the process, which is interesting. I won't tell you what that is right now, but you won't have to do any of that tree hugging stuff or anything like that, so don't worry. So the question that I want you to answer and have a conversation about, that was how was lunch, that will come later. That's not the question. And it's a very open question. Sorry, it'll be a second. What does success look like for the creative economy in Hong Kong? Very big question. You're all from different sectors, public sector, private sector, higher education, maybe more than that. So get all that information down. Introduce one another, your backgrounds, but it's about you having a conversation between each other, and over the 15 minutes, putting that down on paper. Yeah? We'll then talk you through the next phase of that project. Okay? So there you go. I'll time you now. You have 15 minutes.
Accept the film opportunity when they are young. So
big industrial light and magic and big DreamWorks studios and
It's not just about academic
performance feeds into schools, and then schools have resources. I think that's the only way to become sustainable.
to one that shares well city. Wow. Wow. We have to offer show something.
Okay, some nice drawing going on I can see, which is nice. Okay, we're just about done. Okay, next phase. Next phase, I would like each table to nominate a host that will remain at the table throughout this whole session. So if you can nominate that person between yourselves now, who is going to stay at the table? Okay? Done it? Yep. Okay. So, this is where it gets into a bit of a scrum. You hang on a second, hang on a second, hang on a second. Actually, we'll do this one because we use this at Sandbox ourselves. If I put my hand up and you see me put my hand up, you all have to put your hand up and stop talking. Okay? Okay, good. So that host now remains at the table. The 5 other people or 4 other people on the table, distribute yourselves to other tables, not en masse to a different table, but to totally different tables. When you arrive at that table, introduce yourselves, welcome hosts, welcome the people to your table. You will then spend 5 minutes discussing what happened on your table and the discussions that you had, and add to that piece of paper. Okay? So hosts, remain at your table. 5 or 4 other people, move to a totally different table, please, now. Don't take your friends with you, your new friends. Only the host remains at the table. Other people move away. Good. That was relatively easy. Nearly. Okay. So 5 minutes only. Discussing what happened on your table, the discussions you had, and please add to that piece of paper that's in front of you. 5 minutes from now. Would you like to go over there, actually, because that table doesn't have too many. Thank you. Good. Okay, 5 minutes.
Well, if I know I'm the host, I will be more attentive, but I didn't know. But he is a positive result.
特登問咗佢，佢話俾我聽就係話，即係假設香港，你覺得佢點？
因為我哋仲未係啊嘛，因為
You're relying too much on them. Simply more coffee shops and things.
每個人嘅翻，有啲窄啲，有啲闊啲咯。我哋用個廣義啲嘅。
即係你想做乜嘢咧，都要 jobs 嘅 variety， 即係 employment。
Living in Hong Kong through the influence of it gets more of a sense of hope.
It's definitely a very good way for us to.
Shall we? Okay, good. Shall we stop talking for a second, please? Shall we stop talking for a second? Hello? Okay, now you'll be pleased to hear for those techno geeks, it's iPad time. You'll see on your iPad, if you open it up now, and you press and open, you'll see an application called Red. If you press that, okay. Now the way this works is, I've asked you a question on the screen here, which was, how was lunch? Okay, so when you type in the space there, if you click into the space where the words would go there, you can begin to type a response. And when you press submit, I think on there, or send, it will send it to the screen. Okay? So just to get you used to the system, I'm asking you the question to give one reply to how was lunch? If you want to type yummy, type yummy. Okay, just make sure that your response is coming up. We've got 2 goods so far. I thought it was very good. Okay. You okay? Yep. Okay? All working? All working? Red. Red. So, there. And you just start to type and press send or carriage return. Yeah. There's a table with no iPad experience there. That's rather strange, but anyway. So you see how this works. Very simple. Yeah. You can see how in a facilitation setting, if you ask what are the key agendas in your organization, it comes up very quickly. You'll notice also, and please don't take advantage of this too much, it's anonymous, so no one knows who's written what, and everyone is contributing. So rather than me standing here with a paper and pen and asking the same question, and this table talks a lot, you don't say anything, you know, everyone's contributing to this question. So, let me find my mouse. So, what I want you to do now, and this will take some thought, you won't be able to reply to this straight away, but in the context of what does success look like, I want you to think about what actions need to be taken to make that success happen. And I want 3 from each table, only 3. So the first thing that you're going to have to do is negotiate between yourselves what those 3 actions are going to be. Yeah? So you've got 5 minutes to do that. I know it's quick. It's a quick process, this. It normally takes twice as long. It normally have about 2 hours to do this session, but we've only got an hour, so I'm hurrying you along. But you'll get the idea that you are now contributing, and your actions will now be recorded. So what actions that you think are going to make this success happen in Hong Kong?
Have a creative economy. But that is my question now. So it's like the social media. The action really is how do you
Okay, you ready to feed in your actions, please? Okay, we need some more actions. When you're ready, please.
Give a small micro-enterprise a voucher, which they can take these.
Okay, well, I need some more of your actions, please. Because we're going to move on to the next stage very quickly.
So we put more funding on R&D.
In their very early years. That's two slightly different.
Okay, innovation vouchers.
Wow, that's a brilliant idea.
Okay, are we all done? All done? Okay. We're now, everyone input, please. Yep, all done. Hands up who's finished. Who's best in class? Yes, all done. Okay, again, we're going to do this a second time. So hosts, we're going to do two things at once here. It's going to get a little bit complicated. The hosts are going to remain at the table again. People are going to move around to different tables, introduce each other. We're going to remove this top sheet of paper from you at the same time, rather magically. So there's going to be some helpers that take that top piece of paper off and cause some chaos as well at the same time. I will then give you your second question that you as a group is going to deal with. Okay? So let's do that movement. Host, remain at the table. 504 other people move to different tables. Host, stay at the table. Everyone else moves to a different table. I'll take that off for you. Okay. You should have a fresh piece of paper in front of you. So can I take this? Okay, again, introduce one another. If you can hand me the paper or get some people to take it from you. You won't need the red application for this part. So, we're going to do this a bit quicker because we're a bit short of time, but your second question now is up on the screen. Slightly similar, but different. Okay? What are the challenges to Hong Kong in establishing the creative economy? So what are the challenges for you in creating the creative economy? I'm only going to give you 10 minutes for this one. I would normally give you 20, but we're a bit short of time. So 10 minutes on this one. This is the process of writing on the paper again. So we're going back to writing on the paper for our second question. Okay? No interactivity for this bit, I'm afraid. 10 minutes. Challenges.
Prescriptive practice in education. Children told.
So this is where you're just writing on the paper for now. Not the red system, please. Just onto the paper.
Higher education actions.
Okay for now. Okay, I'm not going to move you around again. So it's iPad time again. So now we have another question based on the conversation that you've just had, is per table, 3 actions that need to be taken to overcome these challenges that you're facing. So have a think about it. 3 actions that you need to take to overcome these challenges that you're facing. Okay, you've got about 5 minutes to do that, and then we're going to nearly finish. Okay, so our actions are starting to go in now. If you can begin to do that if you haven't started. Actions are starting to go in now. If you can begin to do that if you haven't started.
Online sales.
All actions in now. We're going to finish up in a second. Sorry. Okay. Okay. The hosts or whoever's typing can continue to type. I just want to have your attention for a second. If you haven't finished typing those in, I'll give you some time to type them in. But if I could have your attention for a second. As I said before, we'd normally take at least an hour and a half for this process. It's the worst feeling in the world as a facilitator to stop a conversation, because you're having great conversations. I can hear them, and it's great that you can feel the energy in the room, which is great. And this information is going to be stored. Please reflect on it now while you have a second, because we're going to distribute some post-it notes to the tables. I want you to take a post-it note, everyone individually, if you can give those out, please. And I want you to think hard about this. It's one question, and the response individually you'll put down on this post-it. I want to know what personal aspect or thing that you will do to contribute to the creative economy in Hong Kong. One thing that you are going to do. It's only one. When you've finished your post-it, please place it on that wall so we can see all of your contributions that you are going to make to the Hong Kong creative economy. One thing. Sorry? Sorry? No, it's a personal one for you. If it's about, I'll be a more creative person, I will go to more networking events, whatever you think as a personal contribution that you can make to the creative economy. Might be something you're already doing, I don't know. When you've written it, please go over and if you're one of the early ones, I guess you can probably quickly nip to the loo or get a quick water. So I'm going to leave those actions up there because they might be useful for the plenary, but I think it would also be useful for you to see some of those responses as well. Okay, good. While you're doing that, I'm just going to ask you another question. Can I ask you to put your hand up if you met someone new today? If you met someone new today, can you put your hand up? Good. Okay. That's the end of the Sandbox session. Again, apologies for rushing you. It's a criminal thing to do, to rush conversations, but I would ideally give you a lot longer to have those conversations because I'm sure you got a lot out of that, I hope. And I hope you get a lot out of further conversations that you might have around this subject as well. So I'll hand back to Rachel, is it?
Thanks, Robert. Thank you. I think we all have a taste of what Sandbox is. It's basically an idea generation process, which is so crucial to the creative thinking. And I do hope you will practice it at work or even in your personal space and benefit from the process.